Hi there viewers, this is Glebro Junction and this is the February 2015 update, and I know it's been a while since I posted my last update. I think it was back in October, November time, so it's been a few months. I haven't really had the time to come up in the loft and do any work on the layout over the winter months, well, not anywhere near as much as I'd like to, with work and home life and the Christmas period. It just restricted me for the amount of time I could actually come up here. That coupled with the interest that I'd lost in it for a while, I got stuck on what I wanted to do, so it gave me some time to gather my thoughts and make some plans. And those plans I've now started to put into place over the last couple of weeks, and I have been working really hard on the TMD centre section of the layout. I've not touched anything else around the layout. Just the centre section, and it's almost nearing completion, apart from just some final little detailing things that need to be added and some wiring issues that I still need to attend to. So I'm going to go into the work that I've done around the TMD area, and also we're going to look at some new acquisitions to the layout also, that I've had for a little while, but I only just got around to putting decoders in and starting to run and stuff like that. So yeah, so onto the work. So first of all, I'll just give you a general view of the TMD area, which is this is the centre section that I built separately back end of last year, and this is how it's looking from like a bird's eye point of view. As you can see, it's almost there. The ballasting, the track work, all the weathering, the greenery, everything is more or less done. The only thing that I've left to do is the lighting inside the main TMD shed. The bulbs are in there, or the lighting strips in there. I've just got to wire them up to the track. And this end yard, or this nearest yard lamp that's here, I've got to wire up as well. I've still got the interior on both sheds, the engine wash and the loco shed still to do, and then just some figures and stuff like that. So there's still a little bit of work left to do, but as you can see, most of it is more or less complete, and it's now starting to look like a proper real TMD. Now I'm going to go into finer detail, and I have to say, I think to date, in the 6 or 7 years I've been doing this hobby, I think this is probably my best work to date. I've just covered up all the information I've got over the years and all the skills that I've acquired, and added it all into this TMD area, and I think it's come out really well, and I'm really pleased with it. I'm glad I took a few months out to think about how I was going to do it, and I really thought hard, planned it hard, and I think it's paid off once I go into all the little details on it, and I say it's probably my best work yet. So obviously, yeah, this is like a terminated TMD yard. So obviously it runs in from the main lines. These are the two inner main lines, as most of you already know. And obviously the lines terminate here at the buffer stops, and then in turn just pull into the TMD yard and the engine wash. So down this end of the TMD, as you can see, all the ballasting and everything's done, and all the greenery work, all the grass, bushes, that sort of thing, it is more or less completed as well. I've this time actually gone for like a light grey tan coloured ballast rather than the darker grey, because I think it shows up better once it's been weathered. I can't seem to get it into focus that well, but as you can see, it tends to come up a lot better. I've used that around the track, and along with that on this all this rough surface here, which I've just unsettled because it's still wet, is actually chinchilla dust. So all I do is just glue the area with a brush and some mixed PVA and water glue, and I just put the chinchilla dust down through a like a pair of tights just cut up, so it's like a netting, and what it does is just finally drops the grains of chinchilla dust onto the baseboard, and it makes it look like fine gravel, and it comes out a lot finer than obviously the ballast, and it works out really well. And then obviously once that's done, I just web it all up with an airbrush. Obviously different tones, different colours, and it comes out really well. This section here is, I've only just done this bit a little bit tonight, and I've just unsettled it here, so I'm going to have to go over it a bit more. And then also gave the track a real heavy grime, and I think that's come out really well. I've changed the shade of sleeper grime that I was using. I was using a rail match sleeper grime, and I've gone over to Phoenix sleeper grime, and it comes out on the side of rails a lot better. It looks more realistic, so I think I'm going to stick with that in future reference. I mean, when I opened the tin, it looked really dark, and I thought, well, I wasn't sure about that, but I thought I'll give it a go, and I think it actually looks better. So I think from this point on, I'm going to stick with the Phoenix paint. I've heard good things about them before, so I thought I'd give them a go, and yeah, as you can see, it's come out really well. The buffer stops and everything, obviously I pre-painted not so long ago, and then obviously added them on, and then obviously static grass all the way around. A lot of people have actually commented on how I do my greenie around the layout, and they always say that it looks good. So I tend to just go with like dull colours rather than bright green colours, try to mimic the real life as best as possible. So I tend to go from like an autumn brown colour and a dark green and mix them up, and obviously this gives you this type of colour. Now obviously you don't really want to be just chucking grass around the whole area because it just looks unreal, so you just want to do it in patches, which is what I do. And what I tend to do as well is get the airbrush and give the grass different shades of other colours, just to represent the dirt that you normally get, especially around the railway, the British Railway anyway, that's for sure. So it just doesn't look too uniform. And then what I often do on top is I spray some hairspray over the top of it, and then I'll just add some like green, it's hard to explain, like sprinkled grass on top that you get. I think it's this stuff over here actually. So I put some hairspray on, and then all I use is the Woodland Scenic blended turf. So it's just fine bits of grass. I just get a spoon and just sprinkle it on top, and it makes it look more realistic, and that's something you would normally see in real life also. So that's what I tend to do, and then obviously I use these bushes and everything. I can't remember who they're made by, but I find that they're the most realistic ones. They come out really well, so I'm pleased with that. So that's what I've done with this section here. I think most of this was here the last time I'd done an update with this this container here. It's got weathered up, and I've added this mound of dirt. Again, this was achieved by just pouring a mound of chinchilla dust and then just spraying it in PVA glue, and then I used some Woodland Scenic fine brown ballast sprinkled on top, and then sprayed it all with PVA glue and hairspray to lock it all in. And I use the airbrush, use different shades of browns and everything to spray it up to look like a proper mound, dirt mound, and it mingles in with obviously the ground cover, and it makes it look more realistic in my opinion. And then obviously added the little Carrama Volvo excavator there as well. I thought it just added another dimension to this side of the layout, and I thought it looked really good. You do often see these sort of things in real life on the railway siding, so I thought I'd add it in. I wasn't too sure at first, but I'm really pleased I have done it now, because I think it looks fantastic. So yeah, moving round, as you can see, all the track has been weathered. I've just broke my light now as well. My Tool TMD yard light, I've just bent it and I've just stopped all the lights working, so it's all flickering on, so I've got to look at trying to rewire that as well now. This is the problem with these yard lights. When you are working around them, you tend to hit them, knock them, which I've done an awful lot, because this one doesn't work now. I think it only had a couple of lights working in the first place, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about doing that. But that one over there, I think that's only got about 3 lights working on it now as well. And this one over here, once I wire it in, I think that's only got 2 bulbs working on it, because I keep knocking them, I keep bending them, As nice as they look and as good as they are, they're just in the way. But you need to really do the electrics first and not last. So I'm wishing I'd put them in last, like at this point, but then when you put them in, you're going to upset all the scenery work. But the only problem is, if you're clumsy like me and you put them in first, you end up bloody knocking them, and it's annoying because they're not cheap. They're about £40 each. So, and obviously I waited a year for these. So my advice is, when you put them in, just be really careful what you do with your arms, because I don't tend to look, and I just knock it all with my elbows like I just did with this, and now none of the lights are working apart from the one. Anyway, going on. So the engine wash. I've still got the interior to do because I want to still do the wash part inside. I'm going to look at some wash plants in real life and see how they look inside, if I can get close enough to one without trespassing. There's something I want to do. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about doing that, but that's something for a later date. As you can see, all the track and everything's been weathered inside, and what I've also done is I've just added some clear gloss paint around the area and on the tracks, just to make it look as though obviously the ground is wet from the wash. As you can see, for everywhere else is dry. So I think that's a nice little added touch. The concrete base that it's on, I've decided to scribe out the lines to represent concrete blocks, and then obviously giving it a really different levels of grime, really, as you can see here. Try to mimic how water would affect the concrete, and as you can see, it's just like got tidal marks where water would go everywhere, and that's what I try to represent. And obviously around the other side, it's done the same, and I've just got the yellow barrier, and obviously these the pipes and everything around here. The wash plant sign needs to be weathered up a little bit more as well. The lighting inside, I think I may need to tone down a little bit. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to put another stronger resistor on, just so it's not so bright. So moving on, all the track work and all the greenery, everything's been done around here. I've added this little yellow barrier here, which would just represent a parking area for the network rail and staff, network rail vans and the staff cars, along with this other excavator which I've weathered up, and I've just left it there. I think it looks quite good there. Moving around into the TMD itself, like I say, it's almost completed. Just got the interior lighting to finish off, and also the interior, all the tools and figures and stuff like that have got to be added as well. The fuel implant has now been added over that side, and what I've also done again is added clear gloss to make it look like oil spill, diesel spill, should I say. And again, that's come out really well. I mean, I did that probably about 2 weeks ago, and it stayed like it. And it's actually got a little bit more dirty, which I prefer as well, because it makes it look more realistic. So as you can see from here, it starts to look really good now. Around the bottom of this yard light, I've now added a couple of guys looking like they're digging it up or just repairing the groundwork around it. Obviously added the orange fence and then the security barrier around it, so no one can get injured as they walk in. And around the side of this TMD shed, sorry about the shaky camera, I'm using my phone. Again, I've used the same principle with the track work and the groundwork and the grass and everything as what I did at the other end. And as you can see better here the difference between the ballast and the actual chinchilla dust I've used around the rest of the ground, and also the different variations of colours of grass and ground cover, basically. So this was on about earlier. So here, if I can get it into focus, you'd see that's the how the grass would come out normally, and then obviously I give it light spray of like sleeper grime and stuff like that, and in patches all I do is just spray it with hairspray to obviously lock in the fibres, and then I'll just add all this scatter material on top, which is something that you see in real life quite often. And again, give it really light dustings of dirt colour through the airbrush, and it just makes it look more realistic. Over here, I've had a lot more dirt because it's a sort of area where the locos will stand quite often. Move that loco out of the way. Added this container here. Obviously the oil drum has now been situated, and the area has been completed as well, so that's been given a heavy weathering as well, so that looks more realistic also, along with this head shunt here, with all the bushes. And what I've also done is around this sort of area, especially where the oil drum would be, it would just be very dirty all the time. So what I've done is I've just dabbed it with a lot of dirt, dirt coloured colours, and it comes out like that, and I think it looks quite good, along with all the rest at the back end of the TMD there with my Sentinel shunter. But as you can see, it's all come out quite well, and obviously more dirt around the other side of the oil drum there. This gravel yard, which is obviously the yard for the TMD itself, which is where all the cars and that would park, the ground has been made up with the same thing, chinchilla dust, and then loads of different types of coats of airbrush colour, and that's how it comes out. I was quite pleased, as I wasn't sure, because it was quite a big area, so I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. But yeah, no, I thought it came out quite well. So nice big gravel yard, which is what you'd normally see around the railway. And I think that's probably about as much as I've done for the TMD area. So I mean, as you can see from further away, it's starting to look almost complete, as you can see. And I'm really pleased with it. I think, like I was saying earlier, I think it's probably my best work so far. The main line on the outer edge, on the outside, I've also started to weather up a little bit more as well. And the gantry is down the other end. I've got the signal lights to put in there, so that's just another job for another day. But just got a few more tidying up things to do, some wiring and some more finer detail, and this area should almost be completed, fingers crossed. So onto the new additions to the fleet. Okay, so first up is this wagon. This is a CTE wagon, which is an exclusive limited edition from Invicta Models. My wife got me this for Christmas. I always fancied one of these. I'm not sure whether to get another one to go with it. Possibly I will do. This is yet to visit the weathering bench, and the pictures I've always seen of these on the internet, these were always just really dirty, and mostly just left in the siding to rot away. So I want to try and mimic that on this wagon. But yeah, it's a fantastic little wagon. I mean, if you're modelling the 80s era, then this is I think this is a must-have buy, and it will look good with one of those Class 24s in the same livery as well. But unfortunately I haven't got one of those, and I certainly ain't got the money to shell out on one of those if I could get hold of one. But yeah, I think one of these definitely in the siding will look good. Maybe another one at a later date if there's any left. Okay, so next up is this Hornby Class 31. I've been wanting one of these for a long time. I like the 31s anyway. I've got a couple in other liveries, but the Rail Freight Red Stripe is one that I've been wanting for a long time. Not always easy to get hold of, and can be quite expensive. But a guy offered me this on RMWeb. So I bought it second hand, although I think it was just brand new in the box. I don't think it's ever been run. If it has, it's only been run a few times because the wheels are still sparkling clean. And yeah, so I've been wanting one for a long time. I'm really pleased I've now got it. I've only just put the decoder in. It runs like a dream. I've still got the buffer pin parts to put on it, and obviously it's got to visit the weathering bench as well, and weather this one up accordingly, and then obviously that will look fantastic running around the layout. So that's one of the new locos I got, which is the Hornby Class 31 in Rail Freight Red Stripe. So next up is this Bachmann coach, which is a Tartan Arrow Parcel Express service. I've never seen these before. I know this it's a new item that Bachmann have released, and I really like the look of it. So I got one just to see what it was like, and I'm really impressed with it. So I'm looking at probably getting another 6 or 7 of these just so I've got a full rake. I'll probably just have to get them a few a month, but I am quite impressed with these. Full of little detail. I mean, if you compare them to most other coaches in the past, this has got a whole wealth of more detail on it than most Bachmann coaches have. I mean, like the extended gangway doors and stuff like that, and obviously the detailing underneath the coach. The camera's not picking up that well, but this is a fantastic little model. They're a lot shorter than the standard size Mark III coach or Mark II coach or anything like that. They are a lot smaller, so in order to get a decent sized rake you would need to probably get a few more than normal. I mean, I'll run my rakes in 6s I think, and maybe 7s, so this will probably, to look good, we'll probably need about 10 of them, if I'm being honest. So at £22 a pop, it's going to cost me a fair few quid, but I think once these are weathered up in a whole rake, I think these will look fantastic. The only thing is, I'm not sure what would normally pull these. So if anyone knows, please let me know. Hopefully it's something that I've already got on the shelf. But I think these will look quite nice once they're all weathered up, and once I've got a full rake, that is. That might take me another year or so, no doubt. The next purchase is this Bachmann Class 37 in Intercity livery, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Is it Bullady nameplate on it? I don't know, I'm not sure. Whatever it's called, it looks really nice. I've always fancied one of these. Again, there's a few people that have had these in the past. I know Richard at Everard Junction's got one, and I always look at this and think, oh yeah, I really do want one of these, but just never got around to it. But I went to the Stafford show recently, and I went and got myself one. So as you can see, I started weathering it. I've just done a light colour under the around the bottom of the loco, around the bogies and everything. Obviously it needs a lot more doing to the bogey area. I need the darker colours to put on, and obviously the body needs to be done. But as you can see, I've made a start. I've been looking at pictures on the internet of these, so they were normally quite grubby as well, quite patchy in places, the paintwork and everything. So that's something I need to press on with. So that's my other acquisition, and I'm really pleased I've got that now, because I've got a full rake of I think they're Mark III Intercity coaches anywhere, that I've got a 47 and an 86 that I use to pull them. So this is something else I've got now for that rake. I think that is it, to be honest with you. Actually, before I go, I have also started work around this area. As you know, this turner's yard was over here. In order for me to rebuild this area, I think I'm going to have to let that turner's yard go, because the woodwork is not going to fit in, because it's been cut up into an awkward shape. But what I'm going to do is have a whole new piece of wood going all the way across and have a whole new town area. Whether I'll implement the actual building itself into it, I don't really know. It's starting to fall apart now and looking a bit old, so I'm not too sure. I might be able to save some of it, but not all of it. So the idea is having one long piece of wood going all the way across, so it fits in snug at the back here, and obviously where the end of this board is going to be tunnel mouths here as well for these lines to run under, and then further up on top, up here, is going to be another shelf, and then it's going to be stacking shelves for all my locos and everything to go into as well, and other stuff like that, because I'm fast running out of space in this loft. Everything underneath the layout is all full up everywhere. I mean, this side's full up with junk that my wife wants to put underneath, and this side of the layout's full up with all boxes of all my trains, and under here is all full up with boxes of the trains, and I just ain't got no room anymore. So I was thinking of adding like a shelf stacking system on top of the town scene. I would probably say a foot above it, so obviously, and then put lighting underneath the shelf so it shines down on the town, and obviously emphasises it a lot more. So that's something I'll probably be pressing on with in the summer, because this time of the year it's hard to do any woodwork outside, so it's definitely going to be spring summertime if I get round to it, because having been married with 3 children, it's not always that easy when it's to do all this sort of work. So that's it from me. Sorry I've rambled on a lot. I know a lot of you have asked, when is my next update. So here it is. Hopefully and I know I said this in the last update, I will have a running video soon, and I didn't do one, but this time I will in the next couple of weeks, once I've fixed the wiring issues I've got with the TMD here, because I've got a power surge of some kind around the TMD, because I touched the track with my static grass applicator, and since then it just doesn't work properly. It works, the main line works, but not the actual TMD. I don't know why, but I need to look into it to figure out what I've done. I think it might be something to do with one of the decoders in the trains. I think I might have blown it, and that's making it short out. I'm not too sure. I mean, as it is now, it's all on. But as soon as I try to run a train or put a train on there, it will just stop working. It will just give me a short. So something I need to look at. But once I've sorted that, hopefully I'll get a 10-minute running video for all of you that are interested. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and keep an eye out for my running videos. So see you again soon.